Ready, please. The round of 16 is wrapping up here at the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup in Istanbul. It's the host country and the tournament debutants, Turkey against Venezuela, with the quarterfinals on the line. Hi everybody, this is Aaron Sanders. Hope you've been enjoying our coverage of the round of 16 action from Turkey. We are down to the final two games before we decide who will make the final 8 en route to the quarterfinals on Friday. Turkey, there's a lot of talk about them, and the main reason why is the way they have played. We've seen earlier Lithuania, USA, and Australia punching their tickets to the final 8. When you talk about Turkey, you have to talk about the incredible run that they have had in this year's U17 Basketball World Cup. There's the bracket, and the winner of this game will face France in the quarterfinal. Puerto Rico and the Ivory Coast will tip off very soon. We'll start with Turkey, who had an undefeated record in Group C play, 3-0, and that's the first time they've gone undefeated in group play after 4 appearances at the U17 Basketball World Cup. And they won all of their games by an average margin of 18 points. And the reason why they have been able to strike it rich is because of number 10, Ömer Kutle. The Real Madrid product averaged 32.2 points per game in group play, which is best in the U17s this year, including that incredible performance in double overtime, getting 39 points against New Zealand. And he is the sharer of the rock. He is the top man when it comes to assists per game at 10.3. And Turkey and Ömer are playing with a purpose. We'll talk more about that later. But from a team with U17 experience to one who's gaining it in their first go-round, and that is Venezuela right now. Their first ever appearance in the U17 World Cup, and a lot of experience is to be gained from this. Even though they lost all their games in Group D, the silver lining for them has been Kelvin Gutierrez and Carlos Perez, who's averaged close to 11 points a game, and Julio Vasquez, 9 points per game. All of these players were mainly responsible for finally getting Venezuela over the hump at the U16 Eurobaskets after 4 appearances, which ended up in heartbreak. Their bronze medal last year in the U16 Eurobasket qualified them to the U17s this year. Back to Turkey. They're playing with a purpose. Their second time in a row hosting the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup, and after losing in the U16 Eurobasket quarterfinals for 2 years straight, Ömer Kutle and Turkey's eyes are set on a podium finish. Prior to this year's U17's World Cup, he said, "I want to win something. I'm desperate. I want to have a medal." Well, there's no better time and place to do it than now in his home city of Istanbul. Turkey, they were lucky to make the podium 2 years ago in an incredible run, which ended up with a bronze performance as they topped New Zealand. We'll step aside for the playings of both national anthems, and when we return, we'll get you caught up and get you ready for this round of 16 game. Merhaba and hola and welcome everybody to the round of 16 from Istanbul, Turkey, as Turkey is set to go 1-1 against Venezuela for the right to advance to the quarterfinal. France is awaiting the winner of this contest. And checking the game predictor app on the website, a handful of you chosen Turkey to advance to the quarterfinals, and you can put your prediction skills to the test with our game predictor. You just have to guess the winner of this game, predict the margin of the victory to earn points, climb the leaderboard, and get a shot at winning an official FIBA U17 World Cup game ball and Nike gift cards. The officiating crew for this game: from Ecuador, Carlos Ortega; New Zealand's Martin Davison; and from Puerto Rico, Urias Loriano. Many of you are tuning in on YouTube. We enjoy the pleasure of your company and thank you for tuning in. Let us know where you're tuning in from as we go along through this ball game. The starting five for Venezuela: Julio Vasquez, one of the top scorers for the team; Kevin Gutierrez, averaging 10.7 points; Williams Anillo, Carlos Perez, and Chris Manuel Echeverria. Echeverria, by the way, is only 15 years old, so chances are he's going to be around the U17 and U19 competition for a while. Venezuela's first crack at the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup, and they're going up against a Turkey team that has been dominating in points and rebounds and leadership. Starting with Darius Kavutazu, second best scorer; Arda Öztürk; Omer Kutlay, best scorer in the U17s; Omer Yusuf Sheik; and Noyan Tolan, who scored a tournament high of 12 points in his FIBA career. Tip-off is just a moment away. Once again, this is Aaron Sanders on the call for this U17 round of 16 round around here. And a big welcome for those of you tuning in from Warsaw, Poland. We have Rob Prezil tuning in from Vietnam. Merhaba to all of you tuning in, rooting on for Team Turkey. And a big welcome to Peter, who's tuning in from the Sunshine State, Florida. And if there's any Canadians tuning in, a happy Canada Day. Yours truly is both Canadian and American. I hope you're staying cool. I understand we're going through a massive heat wave right now. From the UK, from Cambridge, we also welcome you all around the world. France awaits the winner of this one. Turkey 3-0 in group play. Venezuela haven't won yet, but they could cause an upset if they start on a run real quick. Turkey wins the opening tip. And here is Omar Sheik, who ended up with 11 points yesterday against Puerto Rico to close out group play. Kavutazu taking his time as the shot clock approaches 6. 3 from the corner. Shazam! Always a good news when Sheik is able to get a shot to go. And now Puerto Rico looks to start, and a big rejection by Kavutazu. Here's Gutierrez, 10.7 points per game, stopped on the dime. Anio looks for Perez, corner pocket, can't respond. Karuttazu getting a block and a rebound on that defensive stop. Kutlai, all the eyes are on him and Türkiye. Here's Sheik for three. And Türkiye has been known for getting off to fast starts. They're up by 6 as we're a minute in. Here is Vasquez trying to match his jersey number but can't. Kutlai gets his first rebound. Cross-court pass to Sheik, who opened the scoring up not so long ago. Karuttazu looking to add to the damage but can't. Rebound pulled down by Anio. Perez underneath to Gutierrez, met very well, but Venezuela is able to get their first 2 points on the board. Omer Sheik, one of the many members of Türkiye when they played in last year's U16 Eurobasket. Karuttazu trying to get open, but Gutierrez is denying him at all costs. Down to 5 on the 24. Here is Tolan. Can't get it to go. He scored most of his 12 points early in the first half against Puerto Rico yesterday. And our first foul of the game is going to be thanks to Omer Sheik. And Sheik's hand got caught in the cookie jar while trying to steal it from Vasquez. Ball deflected, and it will stay with Venezuela. Türkiye turning up the pressure early. They've averaged 99 points per game, second best in this year's U17 World Cup, only second to Team USA. And Venezuela riding down to the basket early on and absorbing the contact at all times, and on the poke appears to be Karuttazu. So Türkiye getting 2 fouls early on, and we play 2 minutes in this round of 16 contest. Gutierrez kicking it out. And Venezuela has cut their difference to 2. Kutlai looking for his first bucket of the game. He gets fouled, and it counts. Kutlai navigating down to the right side of the 10. Got the move on Echesuria. Got the bump, the bucket, and a chance at the three-point play. There were other games that took place earlier today, and we'll get you caught up with it with a little segment that I call the round of 16 today very soon. In the meantime, Kutlai completes the three-point play. He had his second 30-point game when he dropped 32 against Puerto Rico yesterday while going 17 of 19 at the foul line. Pull-up tray, Gutierrez got it. Venezuela again in their maiden voyage in the U17 World Cup. Not stopping at all. They show a lot of fight despite the difficulty they've had in group play. They've lost to the Ivory Coast, who also made their U17 debut back on the 27th. Lost to Serbia after scoring 20 points in the first quarter, most by them in a quarter. And ironically, in the second quarter, they put up their fewest points in the second with a total of 4. And then they lost to Australia yesterday. But they're putting up a strong fight 3 minutes in to this opening quarter. Fantastic crisp ball movement. Here is Tolan from outside. Too strong off the heel. Just still in on the rebound as he kicks it out to Karuttazu. Can't get it, but he follows through on his own rebound and absorbs the contact. And Williams Anio's not happy. At the foul line, In this year's U17 Basketball World Cup, Türkiye is tops at 81.3%. More historic moments happening for this Türkiye team with the win against Puerto Rico. It marked the first time they went undefeated in group play in all their trips to the U17 World Cup. And Keith White, as the second free throw is good for Kavutasu, says he hopes it will be the first Canada Day which Türkiye will win in its history. And he said, mark it. Well, coming from a Canadian and an American, happy Canada Day to each and every one of you that's celebrating it. In the meantime, we go back to the action as Gutierrez drives into the lane and misses. Tolan gets the board. Team Canada with a massive victory early on. We'll talk about that later. Entry pass intended for Kutlai and has that taken away. Back comes Anio for Venezuela. Goes behind the back, tight-roping the sideline is Perez. Echeverria swings it out. And the long shot isn't good as Echeverria gets the rebound. Kutlai hasn't scored in this game yet. 11-7 in favor of Türkiye, and Kutlai snatches it back in the midcourt as he dumps it down to Kavutasu and gets it down. Kutlai the dime, Kavutasu the deuce. A 6-point game as we're approaching the halfway mark in quarter number one. Echeverria. And now Venezuela working on some ball movement. Gutierrez back to Anio. Anio darts to the lane and has that blocked away by Tolan. Tolan says, I don't think so. Block party early. And a check from Carlos Perez. Tolan just rejecting it. As Anio fought, he had access to the lane. Omar Sheik started things off with a three. Türkiye can now take advantage with them being in the bonus for the rest of the quarter. Venezuela out of fouls to give. Türkiye has two to give. Sheik going downtown and down low as Echeverria flushes one. Ball hits the floor. Perez hitting the deck too. And it's Brian Gomez checking in for the first time. Anio going behind the back. The triple is good for Gomez. Gomez, who averages 6 points in this tournament, gets his first field goal by way of a triple. Nazir Bryant has checked in as well for Türkiye. And Kavutasu makes them pay. It has been proven in this tournament that Türkiye has a lot of depth and ball IQ. And we will see if that will pay off for them, or will Venezuela play spoiler to stop Türkiye from reaching the podium for the second straight time. Anio defies all odds as he puts everybody in a spin cycle. Look at this again. Backing down Kutlai. That is a tough task. And if you really want to stop Türkiye, you have to go to the head of the class, and that's exactly what Anio did. Slowed down his dribble, entered the paint, got the spin move to go fluidly, and got the two for his troubles. Again, we want to welcome all of you that are tuning in around the world on the FIBA YouTube channel. Again, let us know where you're tuning in from. I just said hello to somebody from the Sunshine State, from Poland, from the UK. And let us know who you're tuning in from and who you're rooting for. .350 to go. First period, Türkiye 18, Venezuela 12. Sheik controlling the offense as he plays it to Kutlai. Kutlai gets the screen from Majestelen. Kutlai in a pickle. Back to Sheik. Spots up from the elbow. Can't make it rain. Gutierrez follows up on the rebound. And a big hello to those of you tuning in from Cambodia and Greece. Vasquez darts to the lane and gets it in. It is a strong run from Venezuela, and Türkiye having some trouble stopping this rapid-fire Venezuelan team as Julio Vasquez cashes in. Timeout is called by Türkiye. We'll be back in just one moment. The future of international basketball is shining bright right here in the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup. And so far, it's been a close one. Türkiye with a 4-point lead as we approach the 3-minute mark here in the first quarter. This is Aaron Sanders on the call. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you for joining us since day one of our coverage back on Saturday. Earlier today, we saw Team USA put 141 points on the board against Cameroon. However, Cameroon did not go without a fight. They limited USA to under 30%, or under 30% from downtown in the first half. That's the most points Cameroon has scored, the second most points USA has allowed in this tournament. Back of the action, 4 on the shot clock, down low to the big man, Kawatazo with a flamingo floater. That's off the mark, and the ball will go the other way by way of an offensive foul. Once again, Cameroon scoring 85 points. That's the second most points that USA has allowed this year. The fewest they have allowed was 84 against France in their group opener. And USA is waiting the winner of Puerto Rico and the Ivory Coast. Australia defeating Slovenia by 29. Luke Paul and Antonio Brown led the way with 20 points apiece, and they shot close to 60% from the field. Update you with the other games later on. In the meantime, Venezuela still putting on a fight, and Majestelen meets Vasquez at the rim, and that's going to mean free throws. It appeared that Venezuela would be in jeopardy in the first few minutes of this game because they were over the foul limit, and Türkiye only had 2 fouls to give. But it doesn't look like that anymore, does it? Both teams shooting in the mid-40s. Vasquez was flawless at the foul line until that shot. He is an All-Star 5 member from last year's U16 AmeriCup, where he picked up 15.5 points per game, which is 4th best in that tournament. And he goes 1 for 2 on the trip to make it 18-15, a 1-score game. Omar Sheik gets it back from Ozturk as he goes in the lane, a high arcer, as he gets slapped on the wrist with 2:25 to go. Omar Sheik, one of the many members that came from the U16 Eurobasket a year ago, drills the first free throw, and believe it or not, he's averaging the same points he got last year in the Eurobasket, 7.7 points. He ended up with 11 points in the 98-77 victory over Puerto Rico yesterday. And Sheik scored most of his points in the second half, but could not connect on the second free throw this time. Sheik, an 80% free throw shooter coming into today. Vasquez met by Ozturk. He spoon feeds Gomez, who in return gives it to Okatake. Long shot, no good. Again, not a lot of points from Omar Kutlai to start things off. But he's been handling the rock pretty well. It's indicated by the 10.3 dimes he dishes out per game. Three ball, Sheik, got it. Omer Yusuf Sheik picking up 4 points in the last 2 trips down for Türkiye. They expand their lead to 7. And now here's Vasquez looking to answer, and he does emphatically. Back to the line is Vasquez. His U17 Basketball World Cup high, 14 points along with 5 rebounds against the Ivory Coast back on Saturday. And along with getting All-Star 5 honors in last year's U16 AmeriCup, he also snatched 6.2 rebounds while shooting 75% at the stripe. Can't get the N1 to go. Okatake fighting for the ball, but loses it. Sarp Kaya Arda now into the lineup for Türkiye with 74 seconds to go. Ajastelin fades away and drains it. Türkiye now shooting above 50%. Gutierrez driving and scoring as he puts one over Ajastelin. Sheik do-si-doing with Vasquez. And the push down the top of the key leads to Venezuela ball. Chris Manuel Echeverria standing his ground. The 15-year-old not only taking a charge, but he's taking a stand for Venezuela too. They're down by 5. However, they could go for a 2-for-1 opportunity and cash in just like that. A close one by far, and Echeverria taking contact yet again. That'll mean 2 free throws. Both teams over the foul limit. There's been a total of 13 fouls in this quarter alone. Türkiye responsible for 7 of them. Leading the way for Türkiye, Omar Sheik scoring 10 of their 24. Omar Kutlai responsible for 4. Venezuela currently being led by Julio Vasquez, who has 7. And Echeverria is looking for their first point. He got it to go. Echeverria, again, 15 years old. He was the top scorer for Venezuela in their loss against Australia with a total of 9. Second one bounces off the front. Huge rebound by Guinness. And if there's one way to stay in this ball game, it's free throws. You have to make them. By the way, folks, if you're just tuning in, I'm just going to share you a bit of advice that I was shared when I played basketball as a youngster. The one thing about free throws is that they're free. And with Guinness taking his time, he understands that. I'm going to wait until he makes the second free throw so I could say this. He is perfect from the stripe in the entire tournament. It is 24-22, a difference of 6 seconds between the shot and game clock. Sheik having trouble, gets bailed out by Ozturk, who goes upstairs for Tolan. Too strong. Karutazu gets the board. Second chance coming up for Türkiye with the shot clock dead. Down with 6. Kawutazu moving with 4. Fires with 3. Misses the 3. And that will do it for the first. A close one. 24-22 in favor of Türkiye. The leading scorer for both teams, Türkiye, being led by Omar Sheikh, who has 10. Venezuela has Vasquez leading the charge with 7. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. You're watching the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup from Türkiye.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia. And what a finish. It's overplayed as well. Players about playing one-on-one. Because she's excited with passion. Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans in Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing it.
For those tuning in on YouTube, you know FIBA has a YouTube membership program, and if you participate in that now, you can unlock exclusive content, get early access to highlights, acquire loyalty badges and emojis during our live streams, and more exciting perks. We have 3 tiers for you: Rookie, Starter, MVP. Do me a favor, subscribe to them now and be part of our growing community today. Venezuela starting strong here on the second quarter, with Anio back into the lineup. And the second quarter begins. Echeverria had a couple of good looks for him, and including taking a charge late in the first quarter. The 15-year-old's got a bag. Vasquez looking to match his jersey number. The air ball contained by Demir Oster. Crowd takes up a chant of Türkiye. Down low, big man against big man, and the finger roll is good. Noyan Tola making it rain. He turned 17 in late July, and he's able to get the 2 points. Part of the Valencia Basket Club in Spain. Underneath, Echeverria unable to hit. Back up to Vasquez. He can't get it down. He's leading Venezuela in scoring. Now there is a reason why Venezuela are where they are today. Their very first appearance in the U17 Basketball World Cup. The aggressiveness they have. Winning the bronze medal in last year's U16 AmeriCup, which, by the way, was their first medal in team history after 4 trips to the AmeriCup. The closest they got to the U17 World Cup prior to this year, the 2009 U16 AmeriCup, where they lost to Canada in the bronze medal game. Here's the pull-up triple. That falls short as well. Sheikh slowing it down a little bit. Kutlai looking to work here. Going against Echeverria and can't drill it. The rebound is pulled down by Vasquez. Echeverria plays it to Perez. And Perez having trouble at the sideline, plays it back to Gutierrez. 6 on the 24. Perez leaves it for Vasquez. Vasquez to the hole. Can't score either. A scoreless start for both of these teams here in the second. Outside, Arda gets close. Can't get the right hand to go. Good golly, flying chickens in the barnyard. These guys are ice cold in shooting to start the second. Who will break that trend? Perez turning the Jets on, gets the move on Oster, gets 2 moves before hitting the deck. And another miss. Who will make the field goal? It could be here right there, but nope, Vasquez fouls, which will send Türkiye to the line. Ömer Kutlay, you have to be careful with the way he darts down the floor, along with his passing prowess. Last night, we saw Kutlay tee it up to Bazir Bryant for a nice two-handed jam early in that game, as Omar Sheikh attempts the 2 free throws. Give you an update on what I call the R16 today. What happened in the round of 16? Congratulations again to Team Canada as they defeated Italy 86-64 as they advance to the quarterfinals for the second straight time. They will play against Australia, a rematch of group play from 2 years ago in which Australia took it with Dash Daniels leading the way, winning by 11. Second free throw is off the mark. Played more than 2 minutes in this ball game, and Venezuela turns it over. Back again to the Team Canada win. They have won 3 in a row after losing to Lithuania in their group opener. Incidentally, for Canada, that is their longest winning streak since the 2018 U17s, where they went undefeated in group play and lost to the USA in the semifinals. At that point, they won 5 in a row. Their longest streak in U17 play. They're currently at 3 in a row. They're looking to rival that when they play France on Friday. Or Australia, I should say. The winner of this game will play France. Öztürk, beautiful move. Can't get the strong finish. Tap in doesn't go either. Tolan helping out, but he doesn't get credit for it. 5,500 of you are tuning in live, and we appreciate it on the FIBA YouTube channel. Pass outside of Vasquez. Shot clock running low. It's at 8. He stops in his tracks down low in the paint. Anio has to move. He does. He swings it out to Gutierrez. Goes wide off the backboard. Tolan being the bully of the boards. Early on in the second, Kutlay with a beautiful move over to Öztürk. Set shot, no good. Here is Vasquez, sends it overneath to Carlos Perez, who puts it in. He was looking for the jam, but he finished with the soft approach. A 2-point game after a red-hot start to this one. A slow start in the second quarter due to ice-cold shooting underneath. Arda, high and off the glass and in. Zarkaya Arda, who plays for the University of Vermont, getting 2 more points. Vasquez retreats to the far side. Underneath, the J, it's good. Do not sleep on Venezuela. They have been fantastic. Battle after battle. Another corner 3, spirals out of there. Heartbreak City for Shimshek. And the shove comes from Arda. And it's time for a timeout. Once again, nice fadeaway jumper with the shot clock running low. Venezuela has the ball. They could either tie or go ahead when we come back. Venezuela in their very first appearance in the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup. Getting a lot of experience early on, despite losing all three of their group games. They're keeping this game very close against one of the top teams in this year's tournament, Türkiye, who averages 99 points per game. They are limited to 28 in just 2 quarters of play. Here's the pull-up from Gutierrez. Can't put it down. Şimşek on the rebound. Here is Kutlay, leaving it alone for Şimşek. Şimşek started the play, and he ended it thanks to a dime from Kutlay. Anio looking to break free, gets close, calls glass. Anio now with 6 points. Gutierrez and Vasquez with 7 each. Venezuela cutting it back to 2. Tolan upstairs, goes down low for Öztürk. Right back up top. Here is Tolan, can't make the triple. Gutierrez taking his time as Anio controls the rock. Two passes later, it's in the hands of Gutierrez. Gets bumped. Anio fakes the 3, goes for the 2 instead and scores. We are tied at 30. Venezuela putting on a spectacle here in the last few minutes. They are on a scoring run like you wouldn't believe. Türkiye looking to respond. Şimşek hitting the ground. And so did Perez. That was dangerous. He tried to contest the shot. The momentum got the better of him, and he is called for the foul. Cesaria checks back in. And he only has 1 point, 0 for 3 from the field with 1 board. But he makes up in depth for Venezuela. In the meantime, Kutlay looking for another bucket. Can't get it down, but it's jammed down by his teammate, Ruskar Okçu, who gets his first points in the U17 Basketball World Cup in style. And Kutlay, who's had a hard time finding the bottom of the bucket, finds a way to drive, and Okçu gets on the scoreboard. He'll take a timeout. This game is close, so are the stats. Türkiye is shooting 40%, Venezuela 43%. Both teams with 19 rebounds apiece, but it's Türkiye who has 6 offensive boards. And they used those offensive boards to take care of business against Puerto Rico last night. On the fast break points, Venezuela has 6, Türkiye has 3. Both teams have scored 18 points inside. Cesaria gets out of a jam. On the right side, it's Perez. Perez trying to get some room. He has 1 to shoot and has that taken away. Numbers for Türkiye. Here is Şimşek, a beautiful spin move, and it's put down once again. Karutazu playing trailer. and gets the deuce to make it 34-30. Perez swinging it over to Gutierrez, and it's back to him. Perez and Gutierrez playing well in the two-man game on that trip. Back and forth we go. Kutlai on the move. Doesn't get the bucket, but gets the whistle. You have to wonder who will come out on fire at the start of the second half. In the meantime, the line score here in quarter number 2 as Vasquez takes a breather. Both teams with 10. It was 24-22 Türkiye at the end of 1. Both teams did not shoot well in the first 4 minutes of action. Meanwhile, Kutlai goes to the line and scores. The Real Madrid product, 24 points per game in the Eurobasket a year ago, 32.3 this year. Gutierrez blocks it away, but it's still Türkiye ball as Şimşek has that taken away from him. Picked up by Gomez, who gets the pass over to Perez. Perez speeding through the lane. And now Cesaria looking to reset. 2 passes later, it's Anio. Anio telling people to move. Movement off the ball. Bounce pass immediately straight to Gomez, and he steps on the line. We've seen a handful of plays just like that in the game against Puerto Rico yesterday. And it led to a handful of turnovers. In the turnover department, Venezuela has 4, Türkiye with 3. Kutlai guarded heavily by Anio. And he used too much of the elbow. Anio taking the muscle and gives Venezuela the ball back. Kutlai having a rough time when it comes to scoring. You see Gomez checking out. Kutlai with a couple of field goals. Venezuela doing an exceptional job keeping the top scorer in this year's U17 Basketball World Cup. Limited in points. Vasquez to Perez. Fakes on the 3. Goes deep for Gutierrez, who's stopped. And a banker 3, Perez. He is bang on for that as we're even at 35. This is the second tie in the game, and Bryant turns it over. Numbers for Türkiye, the cradle, the jam, Julio Vasquez, silencing the crowd here in Türkiye. And again, the fast break points continue to pile up for Venezuela. Nice pass from Perez, and Vasquez looks like he was going to cradle it home a la Julius Erving. But he shoved it through with force, got the foul from Sheik, and he will head to the line for the and 1. Julio Vasquez. You send him out, he's going to give you all the work. The three-point play is good. That gives Venezuela their first lead tonight. Bryant lobs one to Kutlai. The final minute in the first half. Türkiye hoping that they do not trail at halftime. Karutazu smothered by the triple team and locates Okçun. So Okçun so far, all of his points have come from underneath the basket, and he's able to flush it with 2 hands. And mind you, he did not score until today. He only played 1 game, and that was that double overtime thriller against New Zealand, where he played 9 minutes. Türkiye and Venezuela going for a furious finish before halftime. Venezuela leading Turkey 38-37. The tournament debutants taking the lead over this Turkey team that had a lot of promise and a huge goal heading into this year's U17 Basketball World Cup. And the way Venezuela has been playing right at the top shows that they deserve to be in the FIBA U17 competition. And here they are in their very first appearance with a 1-point lead over Turkey, who went undefeated in group play. Vasquez looking to cash in again, and he only gets an air ball. Karutazu picks it up. Kutlai on the triple team, and it's snatched back. And another jam. Perez adding to the jam party. Are you thinking strawberry or blueberry? No, we're talking buckets. Final seconds. Sheik underneath to Bryant. Bryant stretches his arms down to 1 on the clock. And Gutierrez unable to get it off in time. But what a furious 20 minutes we have seen so far. And at the end of it all, it is Venezuela leading Turkey, the host team, 40-37. And they have a reason to feel excited. They are taking the rush and the crowd away from it. Top scorers for both teams, Omar Sheik with 10 and Julio Vasquez also has 10. You see the difference. Venezuela getting closer and closer to the basket, shooting close to 60% from two-point land. And that's the story for you. Turkey with a +3 in boards, and we will leave you for a few moments. In the meantime, check out the top highlights from the 2024 U17 Basketball World Cup from, well, right here in Turkey. In the meantime, this is Aaron Sanders. Lots more to come in the second half, which is 14 minutes away.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia. Then what a finish.
Didn't overplay as well. Players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion. Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans in Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing.
Nice pass to Suigo. Hammers it in for 2. Villanovas here dishing it off. Trying to get going in transition. The steal comes away. Matthews. Throwing it up top, and there it is. Our first highlight of the day early on in this one. Big time slam from the number 5, Troy Plumtree. Going up against Green. Oh my goodness! Oh my, AJ DeBranza punishing. rejection from Garavaglia. Get that out of here. And once again, they slow down the offense. Matis has been allowed to be double-teamed again. And Debansa holding up the two. They've got to get someone in the middle there. Fake a pass, make the pass. And the timeout called as USA run out to a 10-point lead. That block, major pin to the glass, put it on a notice board. Caleb Hall. It's stolen away by Spain, pushing forward. A fight for position here. Arnott has it now. It's 3 versus 1. The ball goes to the bucket. And it's in. Jumps it home. Right on time. 2-point lead. Get out of this pass here. Caravaglia is knocked away from him. Man, the quit throwing it up. Great tries to spin move. His pocket is picked. Debansa. Oh my goodness! Baptism of fire. AJ Debansa. Perez loses it. McCoy Jr. off the glass. Stones setting it up to beat the buzzer. A buzzer beater oop off the glass. McCoy Jr. Tyron Stokes. USA on smoke.
Coast for the and one opportunity. You ain't never seen nothing like this. tries to close out Lee Bruno inside.
Fills it up.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
That corner pocket and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Asia. And what a finish.
Didn't overplay as well. The players are now playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
Bombers, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans in Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing it.
Nice pass to Suigo. Hammers it in for two. Vulanovas here dishing it off. Trying to get going in transition. The steal comes away. Matthews. Throwing it up top, and there it is. Our first highlight of the day early on in this one. Big time slam from the number 5, Troy Plumtree. Bansa going up against Reed. Oh my goodness! Oh my! AJ DeBansa punishing. Oh, that's a huge rejection from Carvalho. Get that out of here. And once again, they slow down the offense. This has been allowed to be double teamed again. And DeBansa holding up the two. They've got to get someone in the middle there. Make a pass, make the pass. And a timeout call as USA run out to a 10-point lead. Oh, that's nasty, that block. Major pin to the glass, put it on a notice board. Caleb Hall. It's stolen away by Spain. Pushing forward. A fight for position here. Arnett has it now. It's 3 versus 1. The ball goes to the bucket. And it's in. Jumps it home. Right on time. 2-point lead. Get on this pass here. Carvalho. It's knocked away from him. Man to quit throwing it up. Musa. Tries the spin move, its pocket is big. DeBansa. Oh my goodness! Baptism of fire! AJ DeBansa. Steal, Perez loses it. McCoy Jr. off the glass, Stones! Setting it up to beat the buzzer. A buzzer beater, oop off the glass. McCoy Jr., Tyron Stokes, USA on smoke.
For the and one opportunity. You ain't never seen nothing like this.
And we welcome you back to Turkey for continuing coverage of the round of 16 of the 2026 FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup. I'm Aaron Sanders. Hope you enjoyed the first 20 minutes of action because it isn't over yet. Venezuela, despite losing all their group games, are ahead 40-37 against Turkey. They're being led by Julio Vasquez, who has 10 points. And Turkey, their top scorer, isn't doing well at all when it comes to Omar Kutlay. It's been the Omar Sheikh show instead, who has 10. Sheikh, who averages 7.7 points per game in this tournament and last year's U16 Eurobasket as well, above his average for sure. He scored 11 points in the victory against Puerto Rico. "20 more minutes to go, at least in regulation. Turkey has proved that they could come back and force overtime. They did that in their first group game in double overtime against New Zealand. Won that one by 12. They're trailing by 3 to start the second half, and is traveling called this time by Omar Kutlay, who again having a tough time finding the bottom of the bucket in this penultimate game of the round of 16. Kutlay, who averages 32 points, the #1 scorer, limited to 5 points in the half. 3 assists and 2 boards for his troubles. Here is Kevin Gutierrez, who turned it on late in the second quarter. Gets that denied by Nolan Tolan, the Valencia Basket Club member, swatting it down. We've seen a dunk party and a block party here between these two teams. Venezuela still has the ball with 10 on the shot clock. Williams Anio feeds it over to Vasquez. Vasquez with the crossover has that taken away this time by Tolan. Kutlay sending it to Karatazu, who takes on Gomez. And it will stay Turkey ball with 9:14. Turkey is shooting 40%. And Venezuela 47. Most of their shots have come inside. They haven't thought about the three as much since the start of the second quarter. 6 on the 24, outside Tolan, air ball. And the foul is called on the floor. Looking at the turnover situation, Venezuela with 5, Turkey with 7. Turkey has it underneath the basket. Hand off to Kutlay, who plays hot potato. Goes back up top, this time for Tolan, who sends it over to Öztürk underneath the rim. No good. In the first 4 minutes of the second quarter, these two teams had a problem getting a shot to go. Looked like the rim had lids on it. Here's Vasquez, in and out. Back comes Kutlay, who goes behind the back. Kamer Öztürk in the lane, stopped in his tracks. Back over to Kutlay upstairs, taking on Anio. Kutlay with 7 to shoot, fires away off the front of the iron. And it's put back in by Karatazu. That's been his game for most of the round of 16 as he picks up his 10th point. He and Sheikh are now in double digits for Turkey. Now here's Carlos Perez, far away, fires away, off the mark. And Karatazu continues to be the bully of the boards. He picks up his 8th. Goes for the spin move, top of the key. Had that slapped out of his hands. 2 minutes have gone by here in the second half. The line score for the first 2 quarters, it was Turkey 24-22 after 1. Venezuela dropped 18 and led 40-37. And if you do the math, of course, Turkey has come up with the lone field goal in the third. Kutlay will toss the ball in. And straight away to Sheikh, who gets it back to the inbound. Kutlay trying to breeze away from Perez. Jump hook, Ajastelli. 2 field goals from Türkiye puts them back up ahead by the count of 41-40. Cesaria has yet to hit a field goal while he plays it to Vasquez. Now Cesaria drives. Right-handed, that's good. Went for the reverse after passing the free throw line, and it's Venezuela back up ahead. Türkiye either had the lead or it's been a tie up until the final 2 minutes of the first half. And Gutierrez sends it back. And all Gutierrez had to do was trust his teammates. He saw Vasquez boxing out Shimshek. And now it's back to Tolan, who throws it away, and Perez and Venezuela moving pretty well. Vasquez thought about the 3, gets close instead, fakes and scores. That is a beauty. He got the move off of Ajastilin and just put it up and in. A 3-point game once again. Still the largest lead for Venezuela. Largest lead for Türkiye was 8, but that was a while back. It goes in for Ajastilin, who just dips it through. And welcome to all of you tuning in around the world. It's Cesaria, and it's swung out back over to Anio, who can't bury it. Türkiye has numbers if they go right ahead with it. They decide to slow it down. Karutazu, Shazam! The second best scorer gives Türkiye the lead once again as we play 4 minutes in the third. And now Vasquez putting the moves on. A little bit of a shove, no whistle there as it's taken by Sheik. Sheik has 10 points and almost had that taken by Vasquez. You saw Sheik move his head around like it was on a swivel. And while he was trying to see who was right behind him, he didn't see who was right in front of him, and that was Vasquez. Kutlai has to get a shot here on this trip, and he does. After having a rough time, he finally finds his way to the bottom of the bucket, and it's a scoring run for Türkiye, a 9-4 run to start the third quarter, and that causes some fits for Venezuela. Alexis Cedrez has called timeout with 5:32 to go. Türkiye back up top by 4 following a 7-point turnaround. Venezuela had a 3-point lead heading into the break, but they have seen that lead disappear. And now they are behind by 4. They have the rock with 5:32 remaining in the third quarter. I mentioned before halftime who was going to come out strong to start the second half, and so far it's been Türkiye on a 9-4 run. Carlos Perez looking for somebody that's open. Plays it back far away from the line. He has 5 to shoot. He steps in, thought about the shot, and gets the contact. They're not going to call it a shooting foul. But it's just one more foul for Türkiye to worry about. Here's Demir Öztürk. Only 2 rebounds while picking up his second foul of the game. Venezuela ball side out. Anio sprinting free to the wide side. Vasquez, he could take on anybody. He goes to the lane and is called for too many steps. Brian Gomez has checked in once again. He second-guessed himself right on the elbow. Faked on the shot, tried to spin around to see if anybody was open, and once he knew it, well, his foot was already down. Here's a three ball from Sheik. Putter there. Sheik is sleek from downtown. A 7-point lead, the largest Turkey has had since the start of the second. Driving down the lane is Anio. He's having trouble. He hits the floor. Doesn't have anybody else to help him. And it's called for another travel. Make that 2 in a row for Venezuela as Anio is beside himself. Great coverage from Shimshek with 4:30 to play. Anio guarding Kutlai. And that's been the good news for Venezuela so far, limiting Kutlai to under 10 points in the first half. The bad news is they have given up their lead based off of turnovers. Kutlai gets the move on Anio and puts it in. What better way to stop your scoring drought than just to drain it? One of the top scorers for Venezuela today. Gutierrez into Gomez. Gomez dances and can't score. Kutlai on the rock. Goes behind the back, leaving Anio in his dust. Goes coast to coast, swings it outside. And it's Sheik back to Kutlai. Kutlai looking to outwit Anio once again. He's near the half-court line. He has 7 to shoot. He fires away. Can't score. Anio gets it back from Perez on the other side. Anio taking on Ozturk, feeds it to Vasquez, who goes for the one-legger and hits it. And Venezuela has shown in the second quarter that they could bounce back. Karatazu flings one up and takes the foul. Venezuela came into the round of 16 with a chip on their shoulder, despite losing all 3 of their group games. They led by 3 against Türkiye before halftime. They have all heart and hustle, but they have to use all of that to get back into the ball game. Karatazu misses the first free throw. He came into this game shooting 77%. He scored 23 last night. Hit 37 against New Zealand in that double overtime. And he splits a pair of free throws right here. Now we have 10,000 of you tuning in live on the FIBA YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. Ball nearly taken away by Kutlai, but he did not get the clamps on. Puerto Rico made some changes not so long ago. Samuel Okataki checking in. Vasquez looking for the ISO ball. He moves and scores easily. Trusting your teammate pays off in an extreme way. Karatazu in the triple threat. He is smothered by Gomez, and he can't win that battle. Okataki Plays it to Vasquez, and he's looking to run a play. Anio fakes on the three, sprints to the lane. Tough shot, yes! It counts. And Anio has put Venezuela at the 50-point mark. He had a rough time to start the third quarter, but he's coming alive. Anio, 11 points against the Ivory Coast in the first group game. That has been his tournament high. And with this free throw, he could tie that up. And he gets it. A 4-point game with more than 2 minutes to play in the third. There's been a total of 29 points scored. Turkey is responsible for 18 of them. Sheik gets it back from Kutlai. And Anio establishing master lock defense as he takes on two players. He's back on top, Sheik. Kutlai on the mismatch. Flings it over. The three is good. And another big one from Ozturk to bring them back up 7. And an offensive foul on Venezuela. Now Venezuela, they're good when it comes to moving the ball, but they're a little too aggressive. Puerto Rico yesterday had the same problem. The aggressiveness is there, but you have to establish discipline. "90 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ozturk hit the three on the last trip. He cradles it on the other side and will go the other way. And Ozturk is out, and Darius Karatazu has checked in. Karatazu, another strong game for him at the moment. Filling the rim up with 14 points, 2 rebounds away from a double-double. He averages a double-double here in the U17s. A good game and a big snatch from Tolan. Turkey the other way, and Vasquez had no choice but the foul. Turkey with the second most points scored per game at 99. Had to work overtime in the first group game against New Zealand. That is an epic classic, to say the least. Beat Slovenia by 21, defeated Puerto Rico by 21. And Kutlai has led most of the time. However, Kutlai has had some trouble in this ball game. He's in double digits with exactly 10. Underneath, a Justelin is fouled, and that's 2 shots for him. We've seen Turkey going for either a long shot or try to swing the ball around to get inside. And they're getting back into their bread and butter, going deep. Right inside the paint. Justelin, an 89% foul shooter, setting up for the first free throw. That is no good. Heartbreak city for Turkey, considering they're the best team at the line at 81.3%. And the second one, no good. The difference is 7 in the final minute of the third. Low scoring quarter for both teams. And here's the move underneath. Tough shot from Perez, goes again. And Perez is shaken up following the play. Let's have a look. And Agistellan right behind him as he got him near the head and shoulder area. Looking back at the top scorers in the meantime, Türkiye being led by Omar Sheikh with 13. Matter of fact, Darius Karatazu has 14. Venezuela has Vasquez with 16, and Perez just picked up his 12th point. Sheikh surveys the floor. Kutlai met by a couple of blue shirts. 6 to shoot. Sheikh passes it over, intended for Kutlai, taken away by Gomez. And shot clock went out inadvertently. They did not reset the shot clock, so they'll give them 24 seconds minus the time it took for them to cross half court. So chances are they could put it down to at least 21 or 22 seconds. Nonetheless, Perez stays on the floor. And Gomez comes out. Cesaria gets it down to Vasquez. Shot clock now off for the final play in quarter number 3. 58-54, Türkiye up top. Vasquez loses it off his foot, and it will be Türkiye ball with 3 to go. Türkiye turning up the pressure the moment Vasquez had trouble, and when it went off his foot, that's all Türkiye needed. And we're going to see Christian Perez in the lineup, and now Brian Gomez in for Venezuela. Here we go, 3 seconds up. And a quick pass underneath leads into a foul off the ball. And it will be on Venezuela. 2 free throws coming up for Türkiye. A close one right from the start. Largest lead has belonged to Türkiye, which was 10. Venezuela's largest lead has been 3. This game has had 4 lead changes and 2 ties. Türkiye came into this year's installment of the FIBA U17 World Cup 7th in the FIBA World Rankings. Venezuela 29th. A lot of changes, which include Santiago Guinness in along with Perez. And Karatazu's wondering, well, what's going on here? In the meantime, let us know who you're rooting for. There's at least 10 more minutes of action left in this round of 16. The winner of this will play against France in the quarterfinals on Friday. First one, yes. Easy one for Karatazu. Game's leading scorer. Foul, incidentally, was on Gomez. This to make it a 6-point game. And he hits. And Guinness will toss it in. Down to 1 second. That will count if it goes, and it's short. Guinness had a good look, but just 2 feet wide away. We're at the end of 3 with the score Türkiye 60, Venezuela 54. And our coverage of the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup will continue after this. The third quarter was just what the doctor ordered for Türkiye as they outscored Venezuela 23-14. 10 more minutes of action to go here in regulation. Winner will advance to the quarterfinal. Türkiye looking for their second consecutive trip to the quarterfinal after hosting this event 2 years ago. Aaron Sanders on the call. Türkiye being led by Darius Karatazu, who has 16. Ömer Kutlay, ice cold in the first half, stepped up in the second half. He has a total of 10 points with 6 dimes, and Omer Sheik with 13. Venezuela being led right now by Julio Vasquez, who has 16. Didn't score a lot of field goals in the third quarter, but he's looking to respond right away. And Nelio has been the driving force for Venezuela in the last 10 minutes. Gutierrez backing away. Clock at 6. Perez fakes, drives, and scores. And they're going to call the foul on it and give him a free throw. And Perez has been scoring from everywhere, along with taking the contact, and somehow, some way, he keeps scoring. Venezuela has led by 3 at one point, and that was at halftime. They saw that lead disappear, and now they're behind by 3. Türkiye looking to keep home court advantage, if you will. Kutlay underneath and in as he flings one over Kevin Gutierrez. Kutlay now with 12. It's Perez and Echeverria running on this trip, and Echeverria saves it as he sends it to Vasquez. Gutierrez over to Anillo. Anillo flings it up and is called for a 24-second violation. A minute has gone by here in quarter number 4. Türkiye 62, Venezuela 57. Currently the lowest scoring game for Türkiye in this year's U17 World Cup. Up and under, shot doesn't go, and it was last touched by Türkiye, which means Venezuela will have another crack at it. The least amount of points that Venezuela has scored in this tournament was 47, and they got that on the loss to Australia, and Gutierrez rings it up from three-point land to bring them within 2. Türkiye leaving Gutierrez wide open, and Agestelin too late on the assignment. As they take a timeout, He'll take one here with 8:33 remaining in regulation.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness, get out of here.
That corner pocket and Bruno.
And then you've got this woman here, Anka.
And what a finish.
Didn't overplay as well. Players without playing one-on-one.
Because she's excited with passion.
Roberts, you gotta love it.
Buckets at the buzzer.
And these fans in Kobe, they love it. They absolutely love seeing it.
Türkiye holding on to a 2-point lead, but Venezuela continuing to cause them fits, especially defensively. Full court pressure broken. And it's taken back by Anio, who's looking to tie it up. And he does with the right-handed wham bam, thank you ma'am, jam. That is unbelievable. They almost had another steal, and it's taken by Opchun, who scores. He had not scored in the entire tournament until today. He has 6. He's been unbelievable, to say the least. Gutierrez with Perez trapped. Gutierrez for 3, got it. Venezuela back up top for the first time since the opening minutes of the second half. Bursting with speed is Sheik, and he scores. Sheik, sleek with speed, and he gets the deuce. It's just Surya. Anilo popping right up. Will he get the ball? Not this time. It's Perez, and now Anilo gets it. On the fake, stops on the dime. It's Cesaria with one more pass, and Perez uses too much time. Not a lot of ball awareness on that play. And now Türkiye could make them pay. We'll get an update on the Ivory Coast game in just a moment. Right now, Türkiye up by 1. Trip to the quarterfinal is on the line. Anio keeping on with Kutlai. Long 3. Shazam! You love to see it if you're a fan of Türkiye as Darius Karatazu continues to pile up the points. It is 69-65. Anio looking for payback. Gutierrez gets it back to him. He fires a 3, and he got it. Anio letting the crowd know he's looking to take over. And he has done exactly that since they came out of the locker room. Kutlai down low on the side. It will stay with Türkiye. Meanwhile, the Ivory Coast is leading Puerto Rico 50-47. Ivory Coast, one of 3 teams making their U17 debut, along with the team in blue you see on your screen right now. That is Venezuela. And some bear hugging going on with Perez and Karatazu. It's like that old saying, too close for comfort, as Perez picks up a foul. Speaking of too close to comfort, it's still a 1-point game. Foul stays with Türkiye, and another foul on Venezuela. They are trying to outmatch Türkiye off the ball even before the inbound pass, but they're using too much aggression. Kutlai breaking free. He gets by Vasquez, goes for the double pump. Anio blocks it away. And hold the phone, everybody. And there had to have been some words expressed right there. Kutlai going at it with Anio. I don't know if it was one and another giving each other the business, but nonetheless. It looks like it's going to stay Türkiye way. The problem is they have 3.3 to shoot. The officials called the jump ball, so Türkiye has it with 6 minutes to go. Quick look for Karatazu, off the mark. Second chance thanks to Ajastela. Kutlai, triple, no. And it's back over to Echeverria. Chris Manuel Echeverria, the young 15-year-old, sent it to Anio. Anio fires away, way off. Venezuela had several chances to get back into this one. Türkiye maintaining a 69-68 lead. And there's the crowd coming alive. Sheik on the move. And an offensive foul. Can you believe it? Venezuela standing their ground. Another opportunity for Venezuela. And we hear the Boo Birds coming out. It is still a one-point game, slimmest of all possible leads. Vasquez thought about it. Smart decision. Fake from Gomez. Out. Anio gets close, fires it, but he stepped on the line. How many times have we seen that in this year's U17 World Cup? We're glad you're tuning in on the FIBA YouTube channel. The round of 16 is coming to a close here in the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup. France will take on the winner of this contest. We played more than halfway in the fourth. Kutlai silent in the first half, stepping up in the second, and another offensive foul from Türkiye gives Venezuela the ball. And the Boo Birds continue to fly around in Istanbul. So now, with that being said, it will be Venezuela ball following these technical free throws. 4:42 left on the clock. First one from Vasquez, good as gold. It is tied at 69. And Vasquez plays it to Echeverria. Echeverria, somebody open up top, and that was Gutierrez. Instead, that leads to a pass, and the air ball is contained by Karatazu. Not a good decision. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Türkiye making them pay. Same with Kutlai. Oh, and he can't get it down. Put back, not good by Karatazu. Echeverria rushing up the floor, lobs it underneath to Anio. Almost a wedgie, and it's taken back by Vasquez. Another break for Venezuela. Who will go ahead in this one? 5 on the 24. Gomez out to Vasquez. He has to let it fly. He does. He misses. Ajastela gets the ball. It is so close, you could cut the tension with a knife. Underneath, Karatazu gliding to the basket, and he had no choice. Anio had no choice but to foul him. He was the only one down to the basket. And that means the game's leading scorer will retreat to the foul line. And Anillo's lucky that it wasn't an unsportsmanlike foul. But this is not the player you want at the line either. He shoots close to 80% in the last few games. He's leading all scoring with 19, also 11 rebounds. So there is his double-double for which he averages per game. Karatazu with the honors of putting Türkiye back ahead. Türkiye now 11 of 18 at the stripe. Venezuela 9 of 12. So if it gets close, it goes without saying, it could come down to free throws. 15,000 of you tuning in to a close one, as Karatazu goes 2 for 2. Crowd definitely backed into this one. On the dribble drive, a lob pass intercepted by Kutlai. Both teams with one more foul to give. Kutlai going to the lane, finds Karatazu for 3. Off the mark. And it looked like it was last touch by Venezuela, and it is. Now the pass back to Kutlai. And Vasquez has used Venezuela's last foul to give. So they have to play carefully the rest of the way. This crowd have seen some fantastic plays and close calls. That includes the double overtime thriller in which Türkiye prevailed 112 to 100 against New Zealand. In the second overtime, they limited New Zealand to only 2 field goals out of the possible 7. Kutlai, putter there! Omir Kutlai says ball don't lie as he hits a huge 3. Redemption by name is Omir Kutlai. Quiet in the first half, stepping up in clutch situations like this one. A 5-point lead for Türkiye, and Venezuela has to talk it over. Venezuela rolling the ball as we come back from the timeout. Under 3 minutes to go in regulation. Here is Vasquez, who has led Venezuela since the opening tip. Gutierrez, 1 dribble. Perez a 3. Too strong. And back comes Türkiye on the moves with numbers. Sheik. And who touched it last? It looked like it was on... Oh no, it's not on Venezuela. It was Türkiye that touched it last. It was Sheik on the move. Anillo hustling for the loose ball, and it appeared to hit off the knee of one of the Türkiye players. And with that, there is a challenge requested by Hasan Omercek of Türkiye. And the situation is, Türkiye thought Williams and Neo was the last one to touch the ball before it went out of bounds. And he stepped on the line while trying to throw the ball off the knee. He broke the plane while having control of the ball. That's what it appears to be on the angle we have. If Türkiye wins the challenge, they're going to have to play keep away the rest of the time. We'll see what they say. And they've reversed the decision. It is Türkiye ball. Last touch by Anio. He broke the plane as the ball went out. He had control of the ball. It was a wise move, especially on a fast break situation. But it did not work in his favor. Crowd not giving up by an inch, and it's a backcourt violation. So Venezuela vindicated, but they have to make a stop here. Not only make a bucket, but they have to make a stop on the other end. This is a 2-for-1 opportunity that they could have. Perez swinging left. 3. That's no good. Venezuela, they haven't thought about taking a lot of threes until the last couple of minutes. And it's been a make or break moment for them. It has not gone down the hatch. Kutlai warming up, sends it down to Okchun, who goes underneath. Braja Stellin, as it stays with Türkiye. They'll have less than 5 seconds on the clock. This crowd has seen some anxious moments. And it's going to be a challenge, this time coming from Alexis Cedrez, the head coach of Venezuela. Initially, it looked like Stellin picked up his own rebound despite it not hitting the rim. But we will see what they decide. So back-to-back challenges from both teams. And it looks like Anio had his hands on it for the block, which means Stellin was able to get the rebound off of it. And if Venezuela loses this challenge, it'll be the second straight one, which would come in the hands of Williams Anio. First, it was off the loose ball while charging out of bounds to retain possession, throwing it off the knee of one of the Türkiye players, and now it comes down to this, to see who touched it last. Venezuela ball. So it looks like Stellin does not get vindicated here. It is 74-69, coming up at 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. Entry pass for Vasquez. Hasn't scored much in the second half, looking to step up in the dying moments. Here's Gutierrez for 3. Strong again, 3 straight misses from the line. Perez has to send it in deep, and he throws it away to Karatazu. Türkiye, another game in which they were looking to make a strong comeback. And they're a minute and 32 seconds away from accomplishing that. Stellin. Türkiye playing it safe, down to 2 on the 24, and Anio gets hit. Another Türkiye turnover. The question is now, will Anio be okay? Because he took an elbow to the face from Omer Sheikh. And he's right back on his feet. Venezuela has missed their last 3 from downtown. With plenty of time left, they need a 2-pointer. How close can they get to the hole? Perez, now Guinez back into the lineup. And a foul drawn by Perez. 19,000 of you tuning in to the finish of this round of 16 contest between Türkiye and Venezuela. I'm Aaron Sanders. Hope you enjoyed the game so far if you tuned in right from the start. And if you're just wondering, for the curious eyes of those who've been tuning in to Ivory Coast and Puerto Rico, which is tied at 55, this game is just as intense as that one. Here's the first from Perez. That bounces in. Make that 16 points for Carlos Perez. He has 16 points, his tournament high. He had 14 against Serbia. The second one, an important one, and he buries it. One possession game with 68 seconds to play. Double team applied. Kutlai gets them out of it. He passes the timeline. Anio almost got the steal. Kutlai, calm, cool, composed, drives. Finds Caratazo for 3. Got it! Wide open. And Venezuela committed a cardinal sin by stopping one of the top players for Türkiye. But hold the phone. You know who's leading? Darius Caratazo, who just drills it from three-point land. 24 points, his third triple in the game, and Venezuela will talk it over. .3 to go. Both teams scoring 17 points in this quarter alone. In the second half, Türkiye has outscored Venezuela 40-31. Venezuela was up by 3 at the break. And now they're playing catch up. They're down by 2 buckets. And they have not fared very well from outside here in the second half. Here's Guinez tossing it in. Anio goes right away to Vasquez. Vasquez, if there's any time to warm up now, he would be the guy to do it. He drives in the lane and scores. 77-73 with more than 30 to play. Double team applied by Venezuela, and they go back to the other end. Kutlai holds on to it. He's near half court. Anio look for the steal. Kutlai for the dagger, off the mark. And back on the move is Perez with 14 to go. They have to go for a 3 here. They're taking a lot of time. Here's Vasquez for 3, off the mark. And with 4.9 seconds to go, who else but Darius Caratazo to put it away? Regardless of the outcome, folks, I hope you realize that the future of Venezuelan basketball is rising. What a performance. 0-3 in group play, and they kept Türkiye close throughout the entire game. But it's the veteran leadership of Türkiye and a handful of their players who were part of the U16 Eurobasket team to help them get out of a jam. And Karutazu has definitely been the X factor. The second one. Didn't need to make it. But this one is over. Türkiye with the second straight trip to the quarterfinal. (78-73), that is the final score. As we look at the top scores at the end of the game, both of these teams shot in the mid-40s after 40 minutes of play. It'll be Türkiye taking on France on Friday. The top scorer for Türkiye, Darius Karutazu with 25, Julio Vasquez with 19. He was ice cold for the third and fourth quarter after having a strong start at the end of the first. Ömer Kutlay, usually averaging 32 points per game, he was limited to 15. That is the least amount of points he has scored in this tournament in the first day of July. In just a moment, we'll send you over to the Ivory Coast game, which last we checked was pretty close, as Puerto Rico is behind 65-62 against them. Justin Taylor is on the call for that, but we know the lineups or the matchups are almost set. USA will play the winner of Puerto Rico and the Ivory Coast. Canada against Australia. France will now take on Türkiye. And with Serbia victory, they will take on Lithuania. And we will await what happens between the Ivory Coast and Puerto Rico. A tight one, a close one, but a good one. Türkiye prevails 78-73 behind their fantastic fans. And they will see another quarterfinal berth in their hands. That will do it for our coverage right here from Istanbul, Türkiye. We thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the FIBA YouTube channel. Actually, we have one more game to go, so we'll send you over to Justin Taylor, who has the call between Puerto Rico and the Ivory Coast. One more look at the highlights from today's game, in which Williams and Neal had a great game, but Türkiye was tougher as they move on to the quarterfinals. I'll be back with you on Friday for one of the quarterfinal matchups. We hope you enjoyed this round of 16 play here in the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup. Now, for everybody involved, remember there are plenty of good sports out there, so you be one too. For all the fans that tuned in the live chat, thank you for tuning in. For Ollie and Coco, enjoy yourself, stay cool. For everyone that's tuning in Canada, have a happy Canada Day, and please stay cool and stay hydrated. And take care, everybody. This be Aaron Sanders saying so long as you've been watching continuing coverage of the FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup. So long, everybody.